Hello and welcome back to the Beefy Tech channel. Today we are on Warzone 1, more specifically on Modern Warfare 1, testing the performance on the 7900 XTX. As you can see, my aim is not what it exactly used to be, given the sensitivity is also different. But this game does actually seem to be running extraordinarily well in multiplayer on the 7900 XTX. I did expect it to actually have the same issue that Warzone has, where the stutters are pretty much uncontrollably terrible, but we'll look into that a bit later, because that's the point of this video. I want to see if the 7900 XTX still has issues with Modern Warfare 1. Now, the only reason I'm even doing this video is because I know that I won't be able to jump back on Caldera in a month or two from now, specifically because they're removing Warzone 1 entirely, so I wanted to check the performance again one last time on the AMD GPUs, because I know it used to be a complete shit show. Luckily, within 1440p multiplayer low settings, everything looks perfectly smooth with a gorgeous frame timeline and absolutely god-tier FPS reaching nearly 500 FPS at native 1440p. Saying 500 is more like 360 to 450, but it's still extremely solid FPS for this GPU. Alright, so we're going to be jumping within Airport in Caldera, and we are going to be testing specifically if the 7900 XTX has stutters, hiccups, or any performance issues. Now, of course, we are pairing this with a 7950X3D, so we will be testing with a full AMD setup on Warzone 1, which, as we all know, used to have a lot of issues. As you can clearly tell, still has a bit of a hiccup with the frame timeline. Now, let me start those 1% lows and take a look at what exactly is happening. And damn, pretty much instantaneously I can tell you guys where the problem is coming from. Those 1% lows are not particularly spectacular. Now, yeah, I am getting my cheeks blasted while attempting to talk to you guys, but don't worry, I'm just gonna slide cancel my way out of here and we will continue testing. As you can see though, that 121% lows with 300 averages is pretty damn bad, signifying that the 7900 XTX is still a terrible choice for Warzone 1. Now yes, this game will very soon die and there won't be much left of it, but I did want to see if after all this time and after all these years, AMD GPUs are still broken like they used to be. I remember there was a whole craze for the longest time, where every single optimizer out there told everybody buy an AMD GPU, it gets more frames in Warzone, but they failed to mention the fact that the AMD GPUs all had performance issues where the 1% lows would be horrible compared to what the Nvidia counterparts, despite the averages being higher. Now, a lot of people are saying this is true on Warzone 2 also, and to a certain degree maybe, but nowhere near to this extent. In fact, AMD GPUs are pretty much just as good or better on Warzone 2 these days, with the small downside that if you have a full AMD build, it does occasionally feel slightly less smooth than a AMD plus Nvidia build or Intel plus AMD build. With that said though, let's see if there's any way to actually fix these 1% lows, as I have heard some solutions do actually work towards fixing the 1% lows, and that is underclocking the GPU. So I'm on full screen borderless specifically so we can pop up the AMD Adrenalin in the background. And as we do that over here, we're going to try to set it significantly lower than I've currently got it overclocked to. And we're going to go to something very sensible around 2700, which should be really easy to achieve for my 7900 XTX. And we're going to reset the 1% lows and see what happens. And as you can see, that yet again did not do it. At 2700 MHz, the GPU is still being problematic and giving the same 1% lows. Okay, well, how about this? Let's attempt to turn on anti-lag, which is a technology that in theory should help, but most of the time doesn't. It's supposed to help in GPU-bound scenarios. We're going to restart the 1% lows, and they are significantly worse now. So anti-lag is definitely a big no-no still. We're going to turn that back off. So yes, AMD GPUs, after all this time, many years later, are still broken within Warzone 1. Right as I was going to end the video, I actually found something interesting. I thought to myself for a split second, okay, what if I limit the the frame rate to 270 using RivetTuner statistics? And look at the 1% lows now, and look at the frame time graph now. Now this is a playable experience. I was about to write off the entire AMD GPU lineup and say that they do not work for this game, but indeed I was wrong, as RivetTuner statistics yet again comes in clutch and fixes the 1% low issues and makes the frame time graph perfectly smooth on the 7900 XTX. This is definitely interesting. I genuinely completely forgot about this trick despite being the one to have posted about it a couple months ago. But wow, it works incredibly well in this game, and this is, mind you, the GPU clock set to up to 3200 MHz, but as you can see, it's not actually reaching 3200, it's around 2950. That's not a problem, because you're capping at 270 FPS, which is my personal refresh rate, and the 1% lows are incredibly good now. And there's no more stutters, and the game feels perfectly smooth to play and looks smooth to play. So I have to say, indeed, the 7900 XTX is actually very playable, assuming you're using Rivatuner statistics. Yeah, this is going to be the new end of the video because I did already record this once, but with this fix, the 7900 XTX does actually work for Warzone Caldera, and you can actually play the game and enjoy it before they do remove it. Thank you guys, and have a good one. Bye-bye.